Let's head over to the Needs tab of our profile. A need is a volunteer opportunity that is shared from your agency to the community on your Get Connected site. Under this tab, I can see any needs that I have added, and as well as export those needs and those responses. You can easily export these to a CSV file. Just be sure to click the box of any needs that are listed in this table before clicking export. Now let's look at how to add a new need. Looking at the title, we want something that is going to be catchy, clear, and descriptive. I'm going to choose Doggy Playdate. Under the title, we can also add a description. We have text editing options to format this how we want, add links, and add images. As we continue down to edit our need, we can add a cover image as well as select interests and abilities for our need. These are used to match volunteers with needs. You can designate one as primary, and that determines what the icon will be. I've chosen animals, court mandated, and physical labor, but the animals icon is what shows for the need. If there is a qualification that you need to add, something like a waiver or other materials that you need a volunteer to review before they can respond to the need, you will select that here. Please note, only site managers can add qualifications for your site, so you may need to reach out to them to discuss how you can add this function for your needs. If you want to designate a site supervisor or additional contact person, you can do so here. As we continue down, we will see our durations next. Duration types are used to set up when the need occurs. Each need will have one of the duration types selected. Let's take a look at each of our duration types. Ongoing has no start or end time, won't show up on the calendar, and ongoing needs do not have a capacity or an expiration date. These are always active on your site. We recommend that you use these durations sparingly so that you have the opportunity to review your needs regularly and reduce the clutter on your page. An example of an ongoing need might be for a doggy donation day. Drop off dog toys, leashes, and collars for our sheltered dogs. This need doesn't happen at a specific time and is ongoing until it ends. Our runs until goes live the moment that we create it. We'll pick an end date for when the need expires. And an example of a runs until duration might be, help us reach our adoption goal by December 31st. Happens on. Use this when volunteer needs happen on a specific day. An example of a happens on need might be hydration hosts needed on Friday for the water stand at the Pet Pals 5K event. Multi-date opportunities are good for needs that take place over several days. An example might be a service trip that will build dog shelter pens for newly arriving shelter dogs. The expectation is that by signing up for this, the volunteer is committing to consecutive days of volunteering. However, the next two duration types cannot be adjusted once they are created. Although also duration types, shifts cannot be changed back or to the first four durations that I mentioned once they are created. Next, we will discuss the types that support shifts. We recommend that you use these most frequently. Custom shifts. This has shifts that happen on unique days and times or the same day but at a unique time. This is great for signing up for our community outreach event next Wednesday. Recurring shifts are great for shifts that repeat either daily, weekly, or monthly at the same time. For the example that we're creating, Doggy Playdates, we're going to use recurring shifts. So we'll go through how to set this up together. We are going to fill out our recurring shifts to happen weekly. I want this to recur weekly on Mondays and Thursdays. From now until the end of next month. We'll do a 10 a.m. start time. We want this need to last for 2 hours for each shift, and we have a capacity of 20 people. Once this is saved, the duration cannot be changed. If this happens, you will need to make a new need and select the shifts you want. For our location, the only thing that is required here is a zip code, but all of this information will be displayed on a Google map for your volunteers, just like in the agency profile. This is helpful to volunteers. This does not have to be the same address as in the agency profile. We have the option to make a need public or private. For private, this is an option if we'd like to start adding information but aren't quite ready to make it live yet. Private needs can also be shared directly with the link for people who you only want to sign up. Maybe you set your need to private first until a colleague reviews it. Once you're ready, you can change it to the public view. Initiative is a feature that allows you to group similar needs together. This could be useful for something like youth opportunities or a day of caring, day of service, or other larger scale events that have multiple opportunities within it. Your site manager can help you create initiative if there's something that you want to explore. You may also choose to allow teams to register for this opportunity. You can select the minimum and maximum age to specify any age requirements for your opportunity. As a tip, if you want to say 120 for your maximum age, then your need will say, for example, 13 and up. We have some additional attributes here that let our volunteers know if this is family friendly, outdoors, or wheelchair accessible. You can also add your own attributes, which are extra pieces of information for your need. These highlight any really important information about your need, like closed-toed shoes are required. If there are any others from your agency who are not agency managers, but you want them to be notified of need responses, you can put their emails here. You can also add comments, which are only internal to your admins. If you have a waiver that does not require a signature, you can add this as a click wrap waiver. Now that we've added a need to our agency profile, let's log out and see what our volunteer perspective looks like. From the volunteer view, they can search for and respond to needs, as well as add hours. Let's move on to take a look at our volunteer view. First, I've logged out as the agency manager, and now we'll log back in as our volunteer. Our volunteer already has an account, so I'm going to log directly into it. Our volunteer, Dolly Parton, wants to find a cool opportunity in the community. Let's see what interests her. I'll navigate over to the Needs tab where I can search for a need or filter for specific opportunities. Dolly likes animals, so let's add a filter to look for our interest of animals. And here's our need, doggy playdate. Dolly is definitely interested in this need. Let's take a look at what the need looks like from our volunteer perspective. Here's our title, Doggy Playdate. Stands out and clearly describes what this need is about. Our description, as we talked about earlier, is a great way to share what the volunteer experience is all about. We want to make this description compelling so that we inspire our volunteers to get engaged and make a difference. Our map has embedded our address so the volunteers know our location, and our additional details show the other important information that we added. If our volunteer wants to respond to this need, she can click Respond and view the shifts that are available. She can select as many shifts as she'd like or respond to all of them. If there are additional response questions that you've added, Dolly will need to add her answers for this and then submit our need response. Now that our volunteer has responded, she will receive an email confirming her response, and remember that the agency manager will receive a notification too. Dolly can also add any of her shifts to her calendar.